Hi folks, and welcome to Hours of Darkness, the first piece of DLC for Far Cry 5. Now I'm going to try my very best not to have any spoilers in this video, but if you would like to see the entire playthrough, I did play it over on my Twitch livestream, and I've uploaded that into episodes onto my Let's Play channel. So there's a link down below. You can go and watch through that if you want and check out the rather awesome ending that this piece of DLC has, or at least I thought it was really good. But what exactly is Hours of Darkness? Well, if you played through Far Cry 5, you'll remember meeting an old Vietnam War veteran who sends you off on a little quest to find some lighters in the game. Well, Hours of Darkness takes you back to the Vietnam War. You're an American prisoner of war, somewhere deep inside the jungle captured by the Viet Cong. Only you managed to escape the prison camp during an airstrike, and from there, it's a hell for leather race to the extraction zone somewhere at the other end of the deepest, darkest jungle. Only once the US military learns that you've escaped, they ask you to do a few little errands for them on their way, which involves rescuing other POWs, it involves blowing some stuff up, it does involve finding your downed crew as your best friends and trying to get them out alive as well, which you don't necessarily have to do, does add to part of the story, but basically it's running around, blowing stuff up and, completing little tasks. It's general Far Cry sort of stuff, but with one big difference to vanilla Far Cry. You see, in Hours of Darkness, the key thing is stealth. You don't have to do it stealthily, but the game is a lot easier if you go with a stealthy focus in mind. And I think this fits in really well with the Vietnam War theme, the escaped POW running through the jungle theme. Now when you play in single player mode, the game introduces this concept to you very nicely. As you're playing along, you go through the introduction, and then it explains that if you manage to get kills whilst in stealth, you will then get little buffs to your character. And if you manage to chain 4 stealth kills together without being detected, you'll get the maximum number of buffs. Now these make you move faster, they help you spot enemies, I think they make you less detectable. So all in all, the longer you stay undetected and the more kills you rack up, the easier it is to play like that. I wasn't aware of this fact when I played through it the first time, because I played through it live on stream as soon as I got it with TC Freer, who's an awesome streamer, by the way, and you should go and check him out if you don't know him. But we played through it and we didn't get the benefit of that introduction, nor the tip screen, so we had no clue. And if you watch my Let's Play series, you'll see that we were doing awesome for the first hour of the game because we had nothing. You start the game with a bamboo stick. That's all you've got. And you have to go around very stealthily at the start. However, as soon as we got our hands on machine guns and flamethrowers and rocket launchers and everything else, we started wading in a little bit gung-ho because, it's Far Cry. We thought that's what you do. And things went downhill fast and we really struggled for the next hour or so until we actually started reading the tips and working out what the buffs were and how we got them. And then, it suddenly became a lot easier again and the game made so much more sense. So stealth is really key, and I think that fits in so well with the Vietnam theme, going through the jungle, trying to stay hidden, trying to escape. I absolutely love that side of it. You don't want to be detected, you don't want to be seen, you don't want the alarms raised and the Viet Cong come after you, because you're in the jungle here. These guys are good at hiding. They are very hard to spot and detect, and yes, you will get lots of them coming running after you the moment you're detected. And the more often you're detected, especially later on through the level or through the playthrough, it does get hard, especially when they start turning up with vehicles with machine guns mounted on the back. So yeah, you kind of want to play stealthy in this, at least for the first playthrough, and I'll explain a little bit more about that later. You are aided along the way in your quest to be stealthy. There's lots of nice and stealthy weapons. You start with a bamboo stick, which is great for clumping people over the head with. That works very nicely if you can sneak up behind them. Oh, and for those of you who weren't aware, you can also distract enemies by throwing a pebble. And if you throw it to the opposite side of the enemy, they'll turn and look over there. You can sneak up behind them and clump them on the back of the head. I didn't know that, and I wonder if you could do that in Far Cry 5 as well. It's something I just learned whilst playing this game. You've also got bows and arrows, which are very good for stealthy kills, throwing knives, and you do get silenced pistols and rifles and things later on, and submachine guns. All the weapons, by the way, are pretty well Vietnam themed, and they look like they're right out of Platoon or some other Vietnam War film. I quite like that. Of course, it does fit in with the theme of the game. So you've got classic things like the M16, there's pump action shotguns, there's all sorts of stuff, AK-47s especially, that you would see in there. So as well as trying to rescue your friends and get them out, who you can use as companions if you wish, especially if you're playing in single player mode. Once you've rescued one of your close crew, you can call on them as a companion. You're also tasked with collecting a few items, destroying some AA gun emplacements around the place, which incidentally allow you to call in airstrikes on enemy positions, which can be really cool because you can stay hidden and stealth and just call in the Air Force to come and nuke the place. And there's some Viet Cong leaders to assassinate along the way. Now, whilst most of this is best done in stealth, some bits obviously can't be. Some of the fights with the Viet Cong leaders turn into nice long-running gun battles, and the ending, well, I'm not going to say too much, but it involves a big fight and some rather cool machine guns, and it feels very Vietnam that I quite like. Now, once you finish the game, you actually do unlock 2 new game modes to play. See, playing through in standard mode, you're actually limited to how many weapons that you can take along. Once finished, however, you can play it back in survivor mode or action movie mode. Survivor mode is basically hard mode. You get less health, less ammunition. You really have to rely on stealth. It's a lot more challenging. Action movie mode is quite the opposite. You can actually carry more weapons. You get an extra weapon slot. You can call in airstrikes even when the enemy anti-aircraft guns haven't been destroyed. And basically it's there for you to go playing Rambo through the jungle, blowing stuff up, running in gung-ho and machine gunning everything along the way. So the DLC does have some replay value after you've finished it for the first time. Which brings me to the question, is it overall worth it? Well, I think yes, because playing regular Far Cry 5, there was never really any need or urgency for the stealth. Yes, you could stealth in, yes, you could do certain challenges to take enemies down in stealth, but it never felt really important, and to me, it felt like you could just run into most situations with a big machine gun and come out pretty much on top, which is fine. I like that. That was cool. This, however, it kind of forces you to play a lot more stealthy, especially in the normal and the survivor modes. It's a different type of challenge, and I do like stealth games. Well, I say I like stealth games up to the point where you can still do other stuff in them. It's not forced upon you. But in this, it really does reward you to play through stealthy. And if you like stealth runs, then you'll enjoy this. Because after you've played it the first time, you can play it in survivor mode, which is even harder. And then, even if you finish that, you can kind of challenge yourself to see how quickly you can complete the whole thing. It is harder in single player mode. I think it is easier with a friend along in co-op, because you can revive each other when it goes horribly wrong. But overall, yeah, I thought the DLC was worth it. It just depends how much you like playing stealthy type of games. If you don't like that, then avoid this DLC, because you'll struggle with it through the first time, after which you do unlock the action movie mode, which you can just go up shooting through everything. You'd enjoy that, but the first time you play through, you'll probably find it a struggle, and you might not enjoy it very much. So it's definitely one for the stealth fans. I enjoy some stealth aspects to games, so I did enjoy this, and I have played it more after completing it the first time as well. So I think it was worth it, but you might disagree. I know a lot of other reviewers have kind of slated this, but I enjoyed the theme, I enjoyed the soundtrack, I basically enjoyed the stealthy, sneaky gameplay. So I quite like a lot of what they've done with it. But again, it's going to be down to personal preference and personal play styles. Anyway, if you would like to see more, then do go and click on the link below and you can check out my Let's Play series of this, and you can see the entire playthrough, how me and TC did it and how we sucked at it as well, especially in the middle, and you can see the rather cool ending that you get to try out as well. And of course you can follow me on Twitch too, and you can see other games I'm playing as and when I live stream them. So folks, that's it for today. That's my review of Hours of Darkness. I liked it, I enjoyed it. If you like stealth stuff, you'll probably enjoy it too, or if you like the Vietnam War, you'll probably enjoy it. But otherwise, maybe it's one to steer clear. But all in all, Far Cry 5 is a great game. I enjoyed this DLC, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next one as well. Alright, thanks very much for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you again on the next one.